record. Record. I'm going to come over here. Hit start live stream. And I'm going to go right here. Do like that. Go to this one. And hit record. So we got record in 3 different ways.
I'm going to put that over there.
Email is sent. I hope everybody's going to have a wonderful time with this.
I want them to see that mess over there. Is there any way to kind of...
What's that?
Hopefully.
Maybe. You're going to have to scoot this way then. You need to be this way anyway. Here. Oh. Scoot this way a little bit more. Oh my word, I hear you go going. Oh, there's an ugly sucker. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's been a morning, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I've been going since 3:30 this morning.
Oh, no.
I gotta get up and go to work early tomorrow. You're not even in the picture, Krystal.
Hi, yeah, where's Krystal?
She's like right here. I don't know.
What'd you do? There you go.
There she is. At least we got
Okay, can y'all hear me good on this mic?
I can hear you fine.
No static or anything?
No. The question is, am I hearable? Whoa.
Yeah, I hear y'all just fine.
The real question is, will Richard be hearable?
there seems to always be a problem, ain't there?
She's playing with the duck.
Oh, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
So,
His name is Milvin the Mallard. There you go.
That picture I sent you yesterday of the thing in the tire, that is a syringe.
Where'd you pick that up at?
It's out in the country, one of the back roads, and Sean said he thinks it's a cattle injector, like when they give them their vaccines.
You know the bigger gauges that you use on cattle and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good sized gauge needle.
Did it ruin your tire?
They were able to patch it, but I walked out, my tire pressure stuff started coming on and it started dropping, and I said, no, something's not right, and I pulled over and I got out and it's so at least he came to my rescue. So
Right.
I'm sending you a picture. If we're talking about the duck, I sent you a picture of what I got to see the other day at the lake. It should go to you.
did he tell you about Sunday night and the storm and everything that happened? I think he froze.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's 4 of them all together that swam by.
Yeah, all we got around here is them daggum ugly old Canadian geese.
Oh, they're so pretty.
Geese are mean. They'll chase you if you get too close.
Yes, they will.
I had a beagle dog one time, and I was walking him at the park, and they had a bunch of geese out, and he went straight for them on the leash. I'm like, no, Hugo. And they started trying to chase us. He's trying to get them. I'm like, no, you don't want to mess with the geese. They'll get you.
I actually caught one on a fishing rod once.
How did you do that on a fishing rod?
Yeah, I was reared back and I threw it out as far as I could, and one of them swooped down and grabbed it out of the air.
Oh no!
Yeah. Darndest thing I ever seen.
Oh my goodness! Was he alive?
It was a hell of a fight.
Did you get him loose or did he
It was a
die?
hell of a fight. No, he finally broke my line.
Oh, okay. I thought he might have been like Christmas, a Christmas goose or something.
I don't know. Is Canadian goose any good to eat?
I've never tried it. My dad says it really sucks. Says it smells really bad. Yeah, it has this weird bad smell to it,
Ugh.
especially when you're cleaning them.
Water moccasins do too, don't they, Sean?
Yeah, I heard that I've heard that they weren't any good to eat, but then I had somebody else tell me that they were. I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess if you tried them like the Chinese do, or how they fix them, it might be pretty good. I don't know.
I don't know. Chinese are crazy.
Yeah.
Some buddies of his one time, they shot a water moccasin cottonmouth that was coming towards them.
Well, I'm not sure where Richard is.
He's not here yet.
You don't see him, do you?
No.
There he is. He's answering.
Okay, so we're good now.
Yeah, we killed a water moccasin one time and skinned it out, and it stunk pretty bad.
Did you try and eat it?
No, so my uncle worked for the state of Arkansas.
You froze up, buddy.
Huh?
You froze up for a second.
So my uncle worked for the extension office, out of Little Rock, and so we skinned it out, and my grandmother ended up calling him, and the story ended up spread all over the state because of us trying to figure out the best way to cook it. So, I mean, it went all over the state, and
there he is.
What we were told was that the best way to cook a water moccasin was to put it in a pot of boiling water, boil it, then throw it out.
Can y'all hear me?
You might want to.
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear us all right?
Yeah.
Good grief.
Sorry,
Y'all keep joining in and it keeps kicking Krystal out.
Ain't my fault. You're fat and take up her space.
Well, I agree.
I don't know.
Well, you're going to have to scoot it. Come sit on my chair.
I'm not going to sit on your chair.
Well, you ain't going to scoot that one any further over.
I don't know. Does that work? Maybe it won't roll.
Good enough.
Okay.
I got you.
Sorry, I was trying to get me something to eat and all that. And Jesus.
See,
Yeah.
the last time we recorded, I'm the one that did not wear a hat. And this time, I wear a hat and neither one of y'all do.
Really?
Okay, better. Thank you.
My hair is so long now, it's hard for me to wear a hat.
I had Krystal cut mine off.
Look at this.
Well, when I'm wearing these, I don't like to wear a hat with it.
You also don't have to worry about much hair.
Hey, for someone that's almost 55, I still got plenty of hair.
I'm almost
like Rick
40.
Moranis tonight. You do. You look like Rick Moranis with the longer
Really?
hair and the.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Krystal, I don't like you.
Sorry.
John, scoot back over. The other way.
Scoot.
You're making me all red.
There. Is that better?
Maybe. Oh, anyway. So, yeah, I'm trying a new diet at work, so I was like trying to eat something real quick and all that. Yeah, that didn't work out.
Well, I should know something in the next couple of days whether I get the new position at work.
Okay.
I might be switching over to Richard's former shift.
10 to 6.
Working third shift.
Yeah.
But you'd still be able to do the podcast, so.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It won't be so bad. You've done it before, so. They pay a lot more third shift, though.
We don't get shift differential.
Oh.
But I'm the highest paid one at the front desk because of the managers. I've been there the longest.
How about you slide a little bit over this way?
If I had a little bit to slide.
How about both of y'all slide a whole bunch my way?
Okay, Mr. Retired.
I only get disability, and it sucks.
Yeah, living rent free.
I don't live with my parents. I live on their property.
That's right.
I pay rent and bills and all that.
Let's see. If you put together all my doctor's bills and medical bills for my back problems and all that, you would see why I live here.
Oh, a back, too. Speaking of back, I have no backrest now.
Well, turn it.
Oh, I don't know. I can't sit like that long. Oh,
Now you can sit back.
yeah, I need that.
So you were wanting to try to do what, a 2-part episode?
If we, I think that's one of them things we can play it by ear.
If y'all think we need to, we can. I've got like 5 or 6 pages of notes.
There's a whole lot of history behind that joint.
We just
Oh,
watched
you
the
go back, and it starts in 1896.
6. Yep. I've got all the history here too, so. But I'm definitely letting you lead off with it, Craig, because, I mean.
Well, Sean said he had an intro for it.
Okay, that works for me
He's got a
too.
special intro for y'all.
Yeah, I wrote up. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I wrote up kind of a little intro to it. It's something I want to try to start doing a little bit, if we can. But
I think so. I think it'll help our presentation more if we do it like that.
yeah.
Hey, I wanted to swing this by y'all. I've been actually talking to another YouTuber, and he's got like almost 3 million viewers, and he was really impressed by what we've done in 3 months.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Say that again. A YouTuber with 3 million followers. Who the hell is this?
Almost 3 million. I'll tell you, I can't think of his name right now. I'll tell you in just a second.
Please do, because you colored me intrigued. If we had 3 million, if we had 3 million followers, I wouldn't have to work no more. I can't see that. What am I looking at?
Oh, it's backwards, ain't it?
Oh, no, I just can't see it.
His name is Mo Sargi.
Mo Sargi.
Yeah, Moesargi. And he does ghost videos.
Mo 2. Why would he be interested in what we're doing?
Well, he friended me on this X app, and we got to talking, and he was like, y'all have a podcast? And I said, yeah. I said, we do. I said, about 3 months old. I shared the link, and he looked at it, and he said, golly, he said, I'm really impressed by that. He said, what we really need to do is we need to sell merchandise, is what he said.
Well, we don't have enough people.
I know.
Mo's. Why would he even be? My mind is blown.
I know, and I'm still talking to him. He wants to get me to download.
Are you sure it's him?
Yeah, I'll talk to him personally.
You talk to him on the phone. Okay, just beware.
I even got his WhatsApp number.
Huh.
I don't even know what that is.
You have to be careful of people out there like
Oh,
that.
I know it, but I mean he's real nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Sean and I have talked about stuff like that maybe way down in the future, you know.
I did have a guy at work that said, "Hey, have y'all ever thought about selling merchandise?" It's like we've talked about it a little bit. He's like, "Man, I'd buy me a shirt and a hat if y'all did that."
Here's
Well,
the problem. You want a
I
hat?
got after he told me that I got to looking into some of it, and you can get this a shirt press and everything from Walmart for about $179 to do shirts.
Huh.
But then well, hell, let's make Craig do the shirts. He's retired.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay,
I,
we got our supplier now.
I don't know. Yeah, we can do
it's
that.
it's something to think about later on down the road. I'm not saying right immediately, but
That's just. No, I'm still like a little bit flabbergasted that someone like that would like someone like us. He didn't subscribe to us.
no, he didn't. But he's looked at us, and I've talked with him. That's about it. He ain't trying to get no money or nothing from me.
Well, he wouldn't. He'd be shit out of luck. No offense.
Right.
He'd be SOL. 'Cause we don't have no money.
Well, he'd be 3 out of luck.
Just saying. We ain't got nothing.
We just poor folks from Arkansas.
Yeah.
Well, then we've got an idiot from Oklahoma, so
I'm from Arkansas.
yeah, I know.
He was born and bred here. He can't deny that.
Yep.
Well, you're one to talk because you're Arkansan, but you were born in Colorado.
Yeah, you damn hippie.
I can't deny it.
Anyway, y'all want? Hold on. Let me. Oh, nope. Let me make sure this is working.
Yeah,
Before
let's
I
make sure
forget-
it's recording.
Here's your intro, babe.
Yeah, I see it.
And make sure there's no static or anything.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, you got your new necklace on.
Hold on, that was very low.
Who is?
Everyone. Hold on.
My volume is all the way up.
Yeah, because it switched on me again. Good thing I double checked.
Oh crap! Hell, I messed up and got out of the whole thing. I don't know who any of them other people are.
Really? Is it just stuff that pops up because?
Some other.
Huh?
Yeah.
Or is it maybe people they know?
I don't know. There's emails on there for Google Meet that I don't know.
Oh.
I messed up and hit exit.
Oh,
So that was my fault.
you're good.
Now we just got to get Craig back because he should be popping up in the middle here.
Yep.
And then he can lower and get our box.
Okay, I've got my recording equipment back up and running good. So,
Just my camera. There we go.
Hey, there you are. You got a bigger picture.
I don't know why. because
Huh.
both of y'all are smaller. But
Yeah,
anyway,
Hey, that
y'all are
works.
smaller.
I'm trying to lose weight.
now you can scoot over a little bit because I'm feeling crowded.
I can leave.
Hey, please don't. But yeah, I accidentally went up and hit the X button. I thought I was exiting out something else, and I exited out this whole thing in 1 second.
I was wondering what happened. All of a sudden, you was gone.
I'm not, I'm out. Forget these rednecks. I'm out of here.
All right, I guess we're ready to take off with it whenever you are.
I guess you're ready then too.
Okay.
So, I did do a right up here intro to this. So, sit back in the Cumberland Mountains of Tennessee, among the fog and the whispering winds, stands an ominous structure, a fortress of steel and stone. It is more than just a prison. Men lost hope, slipped into madness. It was built to hold the most violent, but its silence most of but in its silence most of the inhabitants have been forgotten. A tomb of stories never told. If you are quiet, you can hear chains rattle and the cries from prisoners who who never left. Welcome to the gates of hell, Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting place, and the history of it goes all the way back to the beginning. I mean, in the beginning, it started out with trouble.
1896 to be exact.
Yeah, that's when the what they call it, the cold mountain or something like that war.
I believe it was a Coal Mountain. Something,
Coal
yeah.
Mountain War, yeah.
Yeah, Coal Mountain War. Coal Creek Conflict.
Yes. And they said, like I think 25 died during that.
Yeah, the Coal Creek Conflict saw armed miners rebel against state practice of leasing convicts to coal companies, and the uprising prompted Tennessee to abolish convict leasing and build the Brushy Mountain Penitentiary in remote Cumberland Mountains as a replacement labor camp.
Right. And if you look back on the history of it, I mean, they said an estimated of like 10,000 convicts died there. I mean, that's a bunch over the years, and that's due to, collapses in the caves, in the coal mines. There was a lot of fights. There was a lot of bad people there, I mean, you had, what was it, guy that assassinated Martin Luther King, James Earl Ray.
Yeah. And the whole time he was in there, he claimed to be innocent, really, or claimed to be set up by the government.
And it could be, I mean, look at the JFK thing, what's coming out on it.
Mm. Yeah, the list of like murders and stuff that happened. And it is, like Sean said, it was called the Gates of Hell. The first 210 prisoners, many of them were African American. So this is technically, I guess it'd still be post Reconstruction period here in the South. So, which was not a good time, and they were immediately set to work laying the railroad spur and hacking out the coal from on-site mines.
Right, and the original prison, it was a wooden structure.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they made the convicts, uh, construct stone from a quarry that was nearby, and they actually made it into the shape of a Greek cross.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of interesting that it was dubbed the gates of hell, but it was in the shape of a cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, I mean, that's definitely something to think about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, life inside Brushy's early wooden stockade before the actual stone structure was brutal and often short. Inmates toiled underground in dangerous mines for up to 16 hours a day.
And they actually whipped them if they
Mm-hmm.
didn't dig fast enough. They'd whip them with whips and lashes.
Man.
Dozens, yeah, like you said, dozens died in mining accidents and tunnel collapses over the years. They were treated as expendable labor by the state.
Well, and then not only that, you had diseases such as tuberculosis, typhoid fever, and syphilis, and that affected like 3/4 of the black prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
They, you know, you're talking about them working in the mines for up to 16 hours in the, what I was saying, in the uh, stone and concrete structure. The cells were designed to house two people. And it's two beds, but each cell when they was operating with the mine and everything, each cell had four people. Two people would be in there for 12 hours, while the other two would be working for 12 hours. So
Wow.
that, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they it'd be kind of like when two people were on shift for that one cell, two people would be on shift while two people rested. Then whenever they came back to the cell, the other two people went to on shift and started working. So they,
Well, here's a good thing. It said in 1931, Brushy housed 976 men, roughly 300 over its capacity. And it was so bad it was compared to the Siberian prisons in the Soviet Union.
The gulags.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what they said on that little video we watched. They were
yeah.
comparing it to that. And when it was a 4-story building, they had to later build like a caged wall because they would throw people off that fourth level. They die. I mean, it was the death drop is what they called it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know if it was
Mm-hmm.
prisoners doing it to each other. I guess some were, and then some guards I think were doing it too,
Well,
knocking the
Right.
prisoners off of there and
well,
doing the death drop.
if you're housed with somebody for that long, there's going to be tension amongst the
Yeah,
prisoners, and if you get mad enough, you're going to shove somebody over the edge.
so they eventually had to like do like a caged wall so that couldn't happen anymore. But that was happening.
Well, in 1957, I read something very interesting. They built a D block to hold the nastiest criminals, and it was built over the old death house, which the
Oh,
death house was, it was bodies of dead inmates that were kept until they were given back to the families or buried in the cemetery up on the hill.
mm.
So I mean, that's kind of
Spooky.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
They said their hole was really bad too when they'd put them in the hole.
yeah. I
They
read a
said
little bit
bad
about that.
stuff.
They
Yeah.
said it was. I don't know if I got it wrote down. I had something about it, but I can't remember where it's at.
Uh, I got a little bit on it. The whole hole was a dungeon-like solitary cell beneath the laundry where refractory inmates languished in darkness for days or weeks at a time.
Yeah, that's what it said on that. And it was like darkness. They would have eye problems when they came out. And some wouldn't even get all of their vision back depending on how long they were kept down there.
Yeah,
That's
because
terrible.
we're not meant to live in total darkness anyway.
No.
And it said there's only a small sliver of sunlight could get into that cell anyway.
Yeah.
And they had some real bad mining disasters. That several convicts died in. I think there was one major one. I can't remember exactly where I wrote it down at, but I think like 1,000 or so died during the collapse.
It's crazy. Trying to actually find that collapse, but I'm not.
Well, it's real hard to find. I had to search pretty hard for it.
I didn't see a lot. Well, I watched the one video and it was more on the history of the place and all the stuff, but it didn't say anything about ghosts. But I can't imagine it not being haunted because of everything that happened there. There's too much history and death there, and a lot of
Well,
things.
there's several of the YouTube channels that some of the ghost hunters that have episodes about it.
Oh, that's
But
good.
you can find it if you look under certain articles.
Yeah, more of like the haunting type stuff.
Yeah, I mean they say right now, people get pushed and
Oh wow, I can imagine that though, cause
growled at, and I can't remember what all they said. Of course, we're going to cover more of that later on.
now there was something really beautiful to me. The cafeteria is painted with all these beautiful murals. The prisoners did that, and that was started in the early 1900s, I think, by it was the warden at the time, and there was a lot of violence going on among the prisoners, and it was a way of them kind of having some release and some creativity. They were allowed to paint these murals, and they showed some of them on this video, and they were so beautiful.
Well, when you're living in hell, and that's the only
Yeah,
beauty you can
that's
get,
that's your outlet.
yeah,
To like make
that's
some
all you
fun.
got.
Yeah.
No doubt about
Use
it.
your
I mean,
imagination to make something
this
beautiful
place
out
was a bad place.
Yeah. I sure wouldn't have wanted to go there, that's for sure.
Well, they said a lot of people got put in there for doing petty crimes.
Yeah, it's well, this is an interesting one that was in that video. If I don't know what y'all have on it, but oh gosh, and I just watched it. What did I say his name was? Ray.
You talking about the guy that killed?
Yeah, the guy that killed Martin Luther King. He's really famous. But
Yeah.
James Earl Ray.
Yeah, James Earl Ray. Thank you. I knew. I'm like Ray. But he like swore up and down that he was innocent the whole time he was in there till the time he like died. He's like, I'm innocent. The government hired and paid me to kill Martin Luther King, but they've never proved it or anything. And he did his time. He escaped one time for about
Right.
72 hours, and they caught him. But
Yeah, they said it. They said it's so rugged, to make an escape attempt. You're out in the woods
yeah,
immediately.
you're out in the woods and wilderness out there.
Yeah.
So, but he like swore up and down. They said, and he's like, if I ever get out of here, I can prove it. But
He never.
Yeah.
did.
It said Ray's most dramatic escape bid came in June 10th, 1977. And for 54 hours, he ceased being a prisoner altogether. On that summer day, James Earl Ray and 6 inmates made a 16-foot ladder out of salvage pipe and daringly scaled Brushy's northeast wall, breaching the compound entirely. The men vanished into the thick woods, triggering a massive manhunt. The FBI and U.S. Marshals descended upon Morgan County, fanned out to the mountains with helicopters and bloodhounds, hundreds of searchers, and after 58 hours on a run, Ray was found lying flat under a pile of leaves, exhausted, nearly delirious, only 3 miles from the prison walls.
Well, I guess he wasn't an outdoorsman.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
They said they had some famous people come through there too, but
Oh yeah, there's another one. Where is it? He's called the fast food serial killer. His name is Paul Dennis Reed. Yeah, he's known as the fast food killer. He made he did some murders at I think McDonald's, several. Yeah, I can't remember all the places, but it was pretty neat to read. I mean,
I'll have to look him up.
yeah, that might be someone to do a story on.
Yeah, and of course, as it progressed later in years, like the 1970s, I guess, were particularly blood-soaked as far as murders went. The warden said they were averaging about 2 homicides per year. That's not counting attacks, stabbings, beatings, and all the other stuff. One grisly murder in the prison kitchen illustrates the savagery as 2 convicted murderers turned on a fellow inmate, stabbing him repeatedly with knives. One attacker swung a meat cleaver so hard that he nearly severed the victim's arm.
Oh my word, a meat cleaver?
I'm sorry, but with all these violent people that are gathered into one place, 2 homicides a year seems very, very low. It seems like there should be a whole lot more than that.
Yeah,
well, you know, you had a whole lot that died in the mines.
Yeah.
How many? I mean, all right. You're thinking of it like that, but how many were stopped by guards? The beatings, the stabbings, and all that. How many people didn't die that probably should have?
Maimed people and a lot of injured people that did get in fights, but it got broke up.
You know, and you know, you think about in the 70s, especially, you know, when black and whites, they didn't like each other too much in the 70s, you know, and there was one incident happened in 76 where tensions arose and between the black and white inmates, and anyway, they some white guys, white inmates, they held the guards at knife point and took their guns, and then they found 4 black rivals and opened fire. They killed 2 of them. The other 2, they managed to survive hiding in a corner underneath some mattresses.
Wow.
You know, that was in 76.
Yeah.
You know, and this place stayed open till what,
2006.
Yeah.
That's what it said.
2009. 2009.
I was thinking 2009, but I didn't want to jump in and say, no, you're wrong.
I thought it was 6, but it probably was. But
And the ironic thing, also in the 70s, the escape plans became much more audacious. This is bordering a little more on the humorous side. I think you'll like this. James Slagle, a longtime serving inmate who was serving 318-year sentence. So yeah, he was screwed. In late 1970, Slagle hatched a plan straight out of Houdini. He decided to ship himself out of Brushy Mountain in a cardboard box.
oh yeah, that was on that too. Yeah.
Aware of the rule that no container large enough to hide a man could leave the prison, Slagle undertook a year-long regimen of yoga practice, teaching himself to contort his wiry frame into impossible shapes. By the end, he had trained his body to fold into 2 boxes each, only 18 by 14 by 14 inches in dimension, barely big enough for a dog, let alone an adult.
Good grief.
One winter day, Slagle squeezed himself pretzel-like into a paired crates and had fellow inmates seal him in among the outgoing packages.
Of
The
roast
boxes, yeah, the boxes made it outside the prison walls, bound for a distant destination, freedom in a freight truck. But Slagle later recounted his escape was only nearly successful. Accounts differ on how his plot was fooled, but some say a sharp-eyed guard noticed something off. Others that the ruse worked, but Slagle was discovered before he was fully away. He was later thrown in the hole in D Block for trying to escape.
My gosh. Yeah, I missed that story. I wish I would have caught that one.
Yeah, it said he was kept on a starvation diet as punishment. This is where it gets a little bit darker. According to Slagle, during his weeks in the hole, he received only a full meal every 3 days.
Oh.
On other days, his menu was rock hard biscuit for breakfast and a bowl of cold, slimy boiled greens.
Yeah.
For lunch and dinner. The contortionist escape artist paid for his daring stunt with misery, but he earned lasting place in Brushy Mountain legend.
Wow. That's
That was
crazy.
actually on that YouTube video that's about 26 minutes long.
Yeah, that's one of the, I guess you could say it's almost a little more lighthearted, even though it ends kind of bad. But the prison itself really does have a bad history. And as you said, there was in the 1980s, there was a racial powder keg element to it between the black and white inmates.
There was a little calmness, when this warden, Lake Russell, took over for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little bit of calm, but, I guess it was a calm before the storm. Because in, like I said, in 72, you had a strike. The guards, they wanted better security improvements, and Brushy was shut down for 4 years there, and then when it opened in 76, that's when they had the tensions between the black and the white inmates.
Mm-hmm. It really bowled over, and looks like in 81, when James Earl Ray was stabbed 22 times, the guy that killed Martin Luther King, by a black inmate. Apparently, yeah, he survived this. And apparently in retaliation for killing Martin Luther King. And he was later whisked off to another prison for his own safety. But that really kind of ignited the tensions there.
And some say, that they was really trying to kill him also, because of the Martin Luther King thing, because they didn't want so much information getting out, about it, because he claimed to be innocent.
Mm-hmm.
And they say that these inmates and stuff were paid off to try and kill him.
Wow.
That's possible. And here's what you were talking about, Craig. The white inmates taking the guards' guns. Turns out that the guards' guns were only 25 caliber pistols.
Oh, I did not see that part.
Not very big guns, so the other guys kind of got lucky. I mean, the guys that survived, the other two were not lucky, obviously. But apparently,
22 caliber.
25.
Or 25. Wow,
I didn't know that
That's
was
like
a
my
thing.
pistol, isn't it? My little
No,
pistol.
yours is 22.
Oh, mine's a 22. Okay.
A
But
25, a 25 isn't much bigger than a 22. It's probably more like a, I don't know, I compare it a little more than a 22 Magnum.
and you know what I guess what people don't really understand about like a 22 or even a 25 when some it if you have any distance from somebody and you shoot somebody with a gun that caliber, it's more likely if it's gonna hit a bone, it's gonna stop right there. Or if if it doesn't hit a bone, it'll just kind of bounce around a little bit and not really do much damage.
Yeah, you'd have to be like really, really close, to really do damage, I would think.
Yeah.
Well, two of the inmates were apparently shot pretty much execution style.
In the head,
That's kind of what I'm gleaning from this. 45 minutes, 13 shots fired, two inmates were executed, and two more were badly wounded. I'm guessing they got shot multiple times, surviving only, as you said, by hiding under the mattresses in the corner of their cells. And then after that, the white inmates surrendered peacefully, releasing the guards unharmed, laying down their arms once they were satisfied with their revenge. They waited for the prison medic to arrive and handed over their pistols.
yeah.
It was dubbed the Brushy Mountain Massacre.
Not very big. I was showing her pictures of 25 caliber pistol and they're not very big.
No, they're definitely not.
That's what you give Barney 5. Have his little trusty bullet in his pocket.
But yeah, Brushy, I mean, it had a very bad history, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And
You know, altogether, from from the time it opened to the time it finally shut down was 113 years.
Yeah.
So you can't
Yeah.
tell me that there's not anything that haunting that
Yeah.
place.
There's probably definitely some paranormal activity going on.
well, with the estimated of over 10,000 inmates killed and died there, there's got to be something. Uh, I can't remember where I seen it at, but anyway, there is a site that actually tells about people getting pushed, um, growled at,
Mm.
voices, all kinds of things.
It's so much violence and violent ways to die in a lot of those cases, so I can see that.
Yeah, there's one. I mean, if you want to talk about violent deaths, this one guy who was an informant, he would get on the phone and pretend to call his mother, but he's really informing guards or whoever on prisoner activity. Well, two other prisoners snuck up behind him and stabbed him in the neck and the artery.
Oh,
Bled out on the spot.
mm.
Yeah, Brushy was legendary for brutal deaths.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of unconfirmed deaths, like that we're just not sure. Before they really started keeping track of good records.
Right. And I'm sure in the early days the records probably weren't very good.
And it having been a wooden structure at one time, then converted to a uh, more solid structure. How many records were lost in
Yeah.
from it being transferred to the more the stone structure that it is now?
Right.
Well, when your prison is called the Gates of Hell, or here's another nickname for it, the End of the Line.
Yeah, I did read that.
That's that's pretty dark reputation right there. I mean, there's other prisons we can go into, sure, that are much darker for sure out there. Other places that are darker, but Brushy Mountain definitely has a very sinister history to it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, is because, I mean, well, namely, all the serial killers that were there, and you had the black and white violence, and I don't know, it was a combination of things.
A lot of gangster types that went through there that were just real bad guys. So.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, and then yeah, think about all the people that probably died in the mines too. The mine collapses, or even prisoners that might have killed each other in the mines. That well, he died from a collapse, or this rock hit him in the head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Pitchfork to the head.
Pickaxe.
Oh, he fell.
Pickaxe. Pickaxe, I meant, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure.
He fell
And
on
you
that
know what?
boss. I didn't do it.
Yeah. What's funny is though, on the as far as the collapses and the people that died in the mines, there's not a whole lot of information on that. I wonder if they kept it hidden.
I think a lot of it was suppressed. Yeah, I do think a lot was suppressed.
At the beginning, they were making good money, with them coal mines at the very beginning. Having them inmates work for a little or nothing,
Oh yeah, probably even not. Yeah, like you said, nothing. Just
Yeah.
labor.
Yeah, talking about the coal mines though, around where Brushy Mountain is, they they started leasing prisoners to the coal mines in 1866. So the coal mines were there long before Brushy Mountain was there. So the they built a prison just basically to have free coal miners, and so if you go even further back, further than what even before the Brushy Mountain Prison was built, how many more people died in the coal mines before the prison was even there? Because
You got a good point.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like at least 50, 60 years before the prison was built there, they were coal mining in the area.
And no one's going to give a crap about prisoners.
No. And
No.
they like I said, they started leasing the prisoners to the coal mines in 1866. So that's 30 years before
Yeah, that's.
Brushy Mountain, the pen was there.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's just one of them things. It's like, well, it's just a prisoner. Who cares? Well, you ain't got to worry about him.
Well, they were making money off of it. That's the sole reason why Tennessee, made that prison.
yeah, at least till that little war broke out.
Right.
Yeah.
But and we talked the last episode about land, like remembering the energy of the land. So you've got Brushy Mountain was in operation for what was it, 110 years, 113 years of operation with Brushy Mountain. Plus you tack on the 50, 60 years before that, maybe longer. We're not sure because there could have been others, like the first prospectors in the area. And then before that, the Native American tribes in the area that might have been sticking arrows into each other.
Well,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
Civil
you
War.
got to also think about what about the Civil War.
Yeah,
You
that's
know, I mean, Tennessee was a southern state, so you know that there was, battles along there. There's blood spilt back then, I'm sure.
That
Possible.
that there's in the Cumberland Mountains, and of course, you hear about the famous pass, the Cumberland Pass, that
Yep.
goes through there. So, there's surely a lot of death that happened through that area. There's just a lot of death in those mountains.
Oh yeah, you could. I mean, when I was doing some of this research on it, it was just crazy. You know how many different ways you could take it, and loopholes and rabbit holes and everything to go down. It was just unreal.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the Civil War aspect of it. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's just you got a land that's like we covered with the Black Monk that's covered in blood for 150 years or more. So yeah, I would definitely wager that yeah, it's haunted. I wouldn't want to be there by myself.
I would.
Mm,
I think how I found some of the information on the hauntings. I just typed in hauntings of Brushy Mountain uh, Penitentiary, and it brought up a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole list of different things.
Well, I've got a few right here. We kind of talked about the guy that was on the phone with his mom and they got stabbed.
I think his last name was Jet.
Then there's apparently some hauntings in the chapel. It's mainly the those EVPs.
Disembodied
It
voices.
was disembodied voices, recordings, and orbs and photographs are reported in the chapel, with some inmates claiming to have seen objects floating in the air. I'm one of these that I'm kind of iffy on orbs. I'm not saying that they're not real, but it's hard for me to get behind an orb. But
Yeah, because you got a lot of variables there:
yeah,
dust particles, insects, depending on the time of year, the light hitting it at a certain angle at a certain time. I'm not discounting orbs either, but yeah, if I see a more solid manifestation on a photograph, that's a little more believable than an orb. You know what I mean?
yeah. Then there's physical sensations. Visitors have reported being touched, shoved, scratched, and even growled at.
Yeah,
I know
he
we
said
talked about
growl.
some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Apparitions and shadows. Some reports include sightings of apparitions and shadows moving through the prison. And there's the disembodied voices. Apparently, it's not just in the chapel that they're getting these EVPs, but they're throughout the whole prison too. But for those who don't know what an EVP is, it's an electronic voice phenomenon where you can take a recorder, set it down, ask a question, then when you play it back, you hear a response to the question.
And something interesting, Brushy Mountain, of course, it's a tourist attraction now, but they actually have their own paranormal investigator.
Hmm.
Wow.
I can't. It's a woman. I can't. I seen her name. I can't remember it.
You'll look it up, aren't you?
I'm on it.
He's
Trying to.
helps to have a lot of people
Some
Googling.
famous ones out there that you see on some of these shows too. I don't know.
You'd
But
think we're
yeah,
unprepared.
but yeah, they apparently have their own that they hired just for Brushy Mountain to specifically record things that have happened.
Jamie Brock.
Thank you, thank you.
Handy dandy phone.
Jamie Brock.
Yeah, but they say she keeps a record of all of the stuff that goes on there, and that's all she does. I thought that was kind of interesting. They hire their own paranormal investigator.
But also details enough that there's enough activity to justify having your own paranormal investigator,
Yeah, that tells you something.
And there's several YouTubers, that have went there and did their own investigation. And if you watch some of the videos, it's pretty darn creepy.
Yeah. So my question is, when are we going? And how much
Well, I think it costs like about $400.
So you're paying for it, right? Mister, I'm living on my parents' property.
Yeah, sure. I'll dig that out from under my mattress.
My other question is, how much is it going to cost us to pay Richard to come along?
Well, I think if you have 1,500, you can have 12 people with you for $1,500.
Okay, yeah.
I'm still not convinced.
That's quite a bit,
It'd
but
be cheaper to go to that mental hospital place and go tour it.
Yeah.
In Kentucky.
If I wanted to go find ghosts, I could go find an old abandoned house in the woods,
Yeah,
probably.
for free. Yeah, there you go.
Ghosts, there's something about it that is, ugh.
There is a mental hospital down in Benton.
well, you got that haunted hotel down in Eureka Springs?
Yes, there is.
The Crescent.
Crescent.
Then there was the Hill in Boonville, which I don't think they do paranormal stuff anymore, or at least let out.
Yeah, that was really bad. That was it was a sanatorium where they used to treat people for
Tuberculosis.
TB,
Yeah.
and a lot of people died, and that place was real haunted.
It is spooky. Oof. Been right up next to that place. Ugh, I don't like it.
Yeah, no
dress
doubt.
up like the Ghostbusters.
No.
What is it? Peter, Ray, and Egon.
Well, one of these days, though, I need to take y'all up to the Dover Lights.
I got the red hair going on.
Hey, I don't like that idea because you just said he looked like what's his name, and Janine ended up with them.
Look, you need to slap him harder.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will.
Pow! Right upside the head. Make it count.
Somebody needs to.
Probably.
Yeah, but sooner or later, I need to take y'all up to the Dover Lights.
That would be interesting and creepy.
Well, that's where we had our answer when we did Bigfoot calls too. Remember that, Rich?
Mm-hmm. I
Did
remember.
y'all really see the lights and everything? I've been wanting to check that out for a long, long time.
Yes. They weren't that night. They weren't real bright, but they were still visible. And like I said, I don't know, we just got the gumption to start doing Bigfoot calls while all this is happening, and I got an answer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had Bigfoot going on that night.
And then shortly thereafter, we started smelling something. The wind would change directions, and you could smell something, and you had this weird feeling like, we need to get out of here. There's something coming. It was that type of feeling.
So I'm assuming we wrapped up the Brushy Mountain in one episode.
Yeah, man, we
Oh,
did.
yeah, pretty much. I mean,
I usually just tell people, everything we talked about, just look it up. I always search for it to find documentaries and things like that and videos to watch to get some more information on it. So,
right.
interesting stuff.
Getting some
Y'all hear that little bit of static in the?
Yeah, I hear it too. There it goes.
No,
Here's an interesting thing. This is part of the paranormal stuff back to Brushy Mountain. They say if you leave a lit cigarette on the bars of James Ray's cell, you'll actually see something take a puff of it.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Ooh. That'd be cool, but that'd be kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of them. The cigarette glows and curls ember on cue when asked. In one video, it says in one video the investigator calls out to the empty cell, inviting James to have a smoke. The cigarette glows and curls with ember on cue.
Wow.
And then he
caught
caught a thick
smoke, buddy. I'm gonna go over here now.
and then he caught a thick exhale of smoke coming out from his camera.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
That would be crazy.
What? That would freak me out.
Trying to figure out what that static is. I think
Well,
it's
every time it does it over here where Sean's is, it kind of blinks. I think it might be coming from his microphone.
Good job.
It might be because I've got my mic where I've got one where I'm talking with y'all, and I've got one that's connected to my Chromebook. That's connected to Podbean Live, and I've got my speakers set up so it can record both of them.
Gotcha.
So, we had somebody come in for a moment, but they left.
And also, this also says if you go into the hole, a lot of people report an immediate sense of dread and disorientation upon entering the hole. Even hardened ghost hunters have become nauseated and panicky after a short time in the cell.
He almost said they become naughty.
That's it, probably.
That's interesting, boy. That'd be something to go and see it, but I don't know if I'd want to pay $400.
No. Seems like they're making some money off of that.
I would pay $400 if I was guaranteed to see something.
Mm-hmm. But you're not guaranteed to see anything doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a quiet night.
Yeah.
That would be my luck.
I moved my mic over. Did that help with the static stuff any?
No, it's still there. It just started like the last couple minutes.
Yeah, it just started doing it. No telling.
No. Anyway.
Well, we got 11 minutes. Do you want to tell them what the next episode is, Sean?
I guess I could. So, it's kind of a conspiracy theory thing, which is one of them that I'm really, I get passionate about because I'm crazy like that. But, it's actually over Hitler. And did he die or in his bunker from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, or did he escape to Argentina? So it's something that that there's rumors that he escaped. So
He's watched that Finding Hitler TV show episodes. It's kind of some interesting stuff, though. I mean,
there's a lot of evidence pointing that direction. So.
Yeah, no, wasn't it? Some people believe that the Russians were trying to hide it.
Yeah, that a little teaser on it. You know, the Russians and the Germans were kind of aligned together, and the Russians, when after Hitler killed himself or supposedly killed himself, and the bunker was burned or whatever, the Russians went in and claimed that they recovered the body. And everybody took them at face value because they would never show anybody the body. Why would they not show the body?
Yeah, because they're the ones that took Berlin. We didn't.
Yeah. So
That's very true. Huh.
So why would
well that'll be a
so yeah.
That's going to be an interesting episode.
I wish I could join in on that one too, because I'm actually interested. But I'll probably be at church Wednesday though with Amanda, so I'll probably be missing that one. But there'll be other ones. So
yeah, I'm kind of excited about this one. You know, it's probably one of my top interesting things to discuss.
That and Hollow.
And Richard, you be thinking of the episode after.
I guess it is my turn already. Holy hell!
It will be, yeah, after the Hitler episode.
Okay.
Be thinking of a good one.
I usually do. Thank you. I thought the Black Monk wasn't a bad one.
Yeah.
No, that was pretty good. I have to
say. Pretty good at picking, because look at the Atlantis episode. It's like the most viewed.
No, the Did Live is the most viewed.
Oh, is it? Then
we all agreed on the Outlaw Pass, so.
Yeah, but you brought that one up.
That was a good one.
Yeah. We'll find something. So anyway, Sean, you want to head us out?
Alrighty, well, since Krystal has made me mess this up every time since she messed it up. Anybody that wants to get a hold of us, you can find us or email us at paranormaladventures2@gmail.com, or look up Paranormal Adventures with Sean and Krystal on Facebook. Then we've got the YouTube. I'll let y'all throw out the YouTube and the other stuff.
Well, it's technically Paranormal Adventures presents the Supernatural Roundtable, or otherwise known as the Supernatural Roundtable. Then you also have the Archie Squatchers, which I guess we're all a part of, aren't we? Pretty close to. So that's how you find us.
Then, Craig, I think you started something up too, so.
Yeah, like and share, and we need subscribers. Help us out, help us grow.
You also started an X account, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I did. I forgot about that.
I've been trying to hit it that for you saying.
What?
Twitter.
Used to be Twitter.
It used to be Twitter. It's not Twitter anymore.
Oh.
It's X.
Oh. I'm just on Facebook. I had MySpace,
but yeah,
and then went to Facebook, and that's Instagram maybe.
But my X account, it's called Paranormal Talk.
So there
I've
you
got a
go.
train.
And that I'll also be advertising a lot of our episodes through Paranormal Talk.
Oh, and we do have a that other Facebook page where I've been put up the VODs. It's Paranormal Adventures VODs, where it's the unedited,
Okay.
Facebook or YouTube stuff.
And there's mine and yours we used to do on the weekend. We're gonna have Gabe. Maybe he'd like to join us and do something Friday
And
night. Maybe.
We've got the Paranormal Adventures episode coming out this coming weekend. We did one last weekend, so hopefully we get another one going this weekend.
I would really like Gabe.
Something.
I would really like it if Gabe could get y'all set up on Discord. I know he probably could.
Yeah.
Discord would be so much smoother on this than what we use.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a gaming platform thing. I use it to talk to all my friends, and you can actually video stream too, like we're doing now with no time.
I think it will be easier now since Craig has the Chromebook and I got the desktop now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Instead of that tablet. And
Gabe is super smart. He could do that. He's. Yeah.
But,
I'm
Well, if
very
y'all-
proud of that kid. I'm very
If
proud.
y'all live closer, I would do it, but I don't live closer.
but
Yeah, needless to say, it's Richard and Gabe that are our tech people.
yeah.
I think he's smarter than me tech wise. I just BS my way through it till I figure it out.
He told me the other day, he's like, I'm not a tech whiz, I just like messing around with it. So anyway.
Same thing.
Hey,
It's called a
it's the only way
high
to learn, right?
class BSer.
Well,
Oh, there you go.
I think it's about to kick us off.
Yeah, 3 minutes. All right.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna go ahead and start
Well, it's
editing.
been a good one.
Bye, guys. Peace out, then.
We'll talk to y'all later on.
Peace. Bye.
Bye.